March 15, 2020, the date that marked the start of a very significant change. 318 days since Metro Manila was first placed under community quarantine, and there have been more than a few shifts to the way we live our lives. Social media has played a huge part with easing us into that shift, serving as a sort of bridge that helps us maintain our connections and friendships with those we care about, no matter the distance. After nearly a full year of lockdown later, it is time to find out how this role of social media has been made of use, as well as how it has impacted the friendships of three different people with different perspectives, unique experiences, and genuine stories.
I always use social media to communicate with friends. Ever since the pandemic started, I rarely get to see them physically, so it's a really great help that I tend to communicate with them through all of the social media platforms.
I talk to my stan friends every day compared to my friends' friends. It's because, like what other people say, it's easier to vent out with strangers compared to the people you already know, because they won't give you any judgments or whatsoever. Yeah.
Before the lockdown, what my friends and I usually do was to hang out somewhere, just anywhere, someone's house or the mall or in campus. That's just been the norm, even just like for a short time or for the whole day. And now since the lockdown, we haven't been able to do that due to restrictions. And to make up for our loss of bonding time, I guess.
Physical bonding
is
time?
Yeah,
Face to face.
a physical bonding time. Yeah,
Mm.
is to through Zoom calls or messenger calls. My one particular friend group, we would have Zoom calls like every other week whenever any of us are available. And yeah, I would say over the course of the pandemic, through those calls, our friendship, our closeness has grown more.
I actually prefer video calls. Why? Because it's the fact that I tend to get to see their reactions, and it's hard really to tell the person's reaction when you're just chatting with them. But when you tend to call or when you tend to talk to them through video call, you really get to see their live reactions, whether they're happy or sad with whatever they say about your communication.
I would prefer chatting because I don't know, I just feel more comfortable talking to people without cameras. I'd rather talk to them face to face. And yeah, I'm not comfortable. I don't know, parang it gives me more anxiety when it comes to online conversations. I would prefer chatting rather than video calls kasi parang mas nakakapag-isip ka pa ng mga isasagot mo pag sa chat.
It's definitely useful, like more so than I'd say that it's a hindrance. That it's definitely essential to maintain relationships now. But I don't think people should try too hard to maintain their social media status or give into its expectations just because we're in a pandemic and it's like it's all we can do. People should still use it in moderation.
Well, yes. Most of the time, yes. Since the pandemic and the lockdown has started, I don't get to see them as much as before. And we use actually all of the social media platforms, from video call in Messenger, on Zoom Hangouts, and we also use Discord when we watch movie night outs. And it's an alternative way that I don't get to see them very much as before. And I think the closeness really brought us together, especially with the help of the social media.
Social media has helped naman talaga when it comes to communicating with other people, reaching out to them. But I still prefer the face-to-face talk because nafe-feel mo hindi katulad ng parang pag online mong kinakausap yung isang tao. Hindi mo alam kung totoo ba yun or nagpapanggap lang sila.
I feel like it would depend on the relationship or the person you're friends with. Some people, it would definitely be maintained or like it would grow.
Carry over, ganun.
Yeah, pero for others, I think there's a good chance na malilimit lang to social media because there are a lot. I see a lot of people who just speak through social media and not really face to face, just casual comments and replies on each other's posts or stories, and that's it.
Ever since I think social media has started, it also aggregates the social media anxiety that most of us experience. Because when we tend to, example for me, I go to the office, but I talk to my office mate friends physically. But when I go home and then all of my friends started chatting me, and I took so long to reply. Sometimes the anxiety happens or it arises, and I think that's a negative thing with the help of social media.
I don't think social media has affected my friendship in any way because hindi naman porque hindi mo kinakausap yung mga friends mo, hindi mo na sila i-consider as your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I will admit that for me, there's a pressure to constantly communicate with friends. Kasi yun nga, as most people assume or think, people think that people should respond immediately just because social media is instantaneous. Most people tend to dismiss the possibilities of someone's availability just because of how instantaneous it is, and not everyone has the energy to have this constant communication. And yeah, it definitely has unnecessary pressure.
Yes, I do feel that sometimes, especially with my high school and college friends, since all of us have busy schedules now, there's really a pressure to maintain the closeness of our friendship alive. The positive feedback that I get when I use social media to communicate with them is that it's real time. So when I talk to them, they receive the message instantly, since with the help of Wi-Fi or a mobile data. But also the negative side of it is that the social media anxiety, especially when I don't get to reply to them instantly, they might think that I'm sort of ignoring them, but it's just the fact that I'm just so busy with my schedule and I have to take a mental health break, of course, with the social media detox. And it's a really good opportunity, of course, to have a social media detox, but we can't really control the feelings of others if we want to take a rest from social media and then they're waiting for our reply to them. It's just a means of respecting others thinking and on how we manage time as well.
Social media, with all its factors and different features, has for sure allowed me to be closer to my friends and maintain my relationships with them. However, social media also greatly drains me personally. Kasi ang daming expectations to constantly communicate nga, and when you don't do that, there's so much misunderstandings that you don't really have to clear up naman. Pero parang may pressure din to clear it up or make sure it does not happen.
Hearing all these real-life accounts has given much insight on how social media, especially during this pandemic, has impacted people's lives. Though their stories and opinions may vary, the one common thread to be found among them is the fact that it has helped both with maintaining and even further strengthening their friendships with others. While not without its faults and shortcomings, it can be said that it is because of these shared experiences that makes social media so much more worthwhile. However, it does count to remember that at the end of the day, it is still just a tool, and that it is up to us how we choose to wield that tool, whether for our improvement or for our ruin.